Hey guys, it's Joe, and in this video I'm going to show you how to use the Chorus plugin in Logic. Now, Chorus is one of the most common modulation effects that's used, but some people don't even necessarily like it. I quite like it because it can add quite a lot of colour and richness to a sound, and I think it has a lot of benefits when used correctly. There are a couple of different ways that you can use Chorus. You can either put it on your channel strip like most things, or you can have it sent through a bus, which I've done here because I'll probably use it on a couple of other sounds in this track. And to actually get the chorus up, we just go down to modulation, and it's the first one here. And then we'll be met with these three main parameters. So what Chorus actually does is that it delays the signal and then it modulates the delay time using an LFO. And it creates quite a full and rich sound, because it'll make it sound like more than one person or instrument is being played all at once. So getting almost like a delay effect from it, but not quite. It all just sounds slightly different. I'm just going to A and B this piano sound that I've got here. It sounds really quite nice on it. It just thickens it up quite a lot and just adds a nice bit of colour. I tend to use Chorus quite subtly. I find that when I push the parameters higher, then it just doesn't quite sound as good. It doesn't sound authentic. So we have the rate, intensity, and the mix here. The rate is how quickly that the LFO is going to work. It's how much it will be oscillating. And the intensity is how strong that modulation is coming through, essentially. And then, of course, the mix is the balance between the wet and the dry signal. Of course, this is on a bus, so this is on 100%. We also have D mode, but I'll get into that in a minute. As you can see, I've got quite a low rate and quite a low intensity, but it sounds quite nice. And when I start to push those up, we lose that. So this is a bit too much for me. I found even up here, it's quite nice. This is a bit too much. But when I start to push the rate up as well, as I'm sure you heard along the way, there was some quite nasty harmonics going on because it's all delaying the time and it's slightly changing the pitch, and there's so much happening at once that it kind of clashes really. So I never really have the rate any higher than like 2, quite honestly. If anything, that's probably still a bit high. Yeah, like 1.5, because when we drop this down, it sounds okay. But as I said, I tend to keep it quite subtle. So really, the higher the rate you have, the lower the intensity you'll probably want. So if we just boost this and drop that, it's not too bad. As I said, I think keeping it subtle is better for this. Now we've got D mode, and as you can see, when we turn that on, the mix is gone. It's just full, essentially. And this is a bit different. This actually introduces a spatial filtering effect, and I believe it's meant to resemble a vintage processor, but it does just sound a little bit different to this main chorus that we've been working with. So first of all, a lot more subtle. We push all these up. It does sound very different. It's a very different type of chorus effect. It's, as I said, it's more of a spatial effect, but it does still fill things out quite nicely, and it still can be used quite creatively as well. I prefer just leaving it on the normal chorus effect. I'll just drop these back down again as I had them, because I think it just fills it out a little bit better, and this is more what I'm after really, when I'm thinking of how to fill it out and add a bit of colour to it. Chorus works really well when paired with other effects too. Like I've also got a phaser on here, which it sounds really nice with. You can get some really interesting effects when you're blending more than one modulation, or even just another effect like an EQ sweep or something in with the chorus. So I personally think the Chorus is actually really quite a good plugin. The Logic one's absolutely fine as well. Obviously there are going to be nicer ones out there, but this definitely does the job. So if you're looking for a really quick way to add some thickness and colour and richness to a sound, then Chorus is a really, really good way to do that. I hope you found this video useful, and if you have any questions, please leave a comment or contact me via my website. Thanks a lot for watching. Cheers.